Good evening, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host, Ahmad Nawaz. Tonight's top story is going to be the National T20 Cup with a final that is going to take place between Central Punjab and the team of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa at the Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore. Action will be live on your screens from 7:30 p.m. We know that in last night's semi-finals, the semi-final one, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa were able to beat Northern, and of course in the later night we saw Central Punjab getting the better of the team of Sindh. Now much was expected from Sindh because they had been dominating with Sharaz's captaincy, but I think his exclusion from the middle order really said a lot, and this is probably why their order was disturbed. Nobody could take responsibility, but Qasim Akram truly a wonderful find, and he's taken the responsibility as the prime off spinner. He can also bat well as well, so we know his stats so far. But it's going to be an exciting encounter, Central Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa have got a brilliant lineup. I think the experience is still there. But nonetheless, I think however the final concludes, whichever team wins, a lot of credit needs to be given to the PCB, because this has been one of the most exciting national T20s that we have ever seen, including broadcast quality as well, and including, I think, the quality of matches has been superb, even in Rawalpindi and also going on to the Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore. After that, we'll be discussing football in the second segment. In football, we'll be talking about the World Cup qualifiers where Portugal were able to thrash Luxembourg, and it was Cristiano Ronaldo who managed to score yet another hat-trick, and his charisma is still there. His return to Manchester United was the most talked about topic in world football, but I think getting this hat-trick, he's once again now becomes the first men's player to score 10 hat-tricks when it comes to football. And of course, we talk about World Cup qualifiers elsewhere. We had some other games as well. We'll be talking about that in the later half of the show. To talk about this further, in studios, we've been joined by our guests. First of all, a very honourable person who's played cricket himself when it comes to leagues in England, and he's been there in the field, so you can understand that he's had that real action. Especially league cricket in England is very competitive. He's a cricket expert, and he'll be talking about not just the National T20 Cup, but also I'll take his insight on Pakistan's World Cup squad a little bit as well, because obviously we know in a couple of days' time we've got a big encounter against India, so we'll see how our team is lining up. And of course, like I said, a particular focus will be on the National T20. Cricket expert Rizwan Haider. Assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum.
Sir, great to have you on the show. We've also been joined by cricket commentator and cricket expert, somebody who really keenly analyzes the game and is now becoming a regular feature of this program, K. Asif. Assalamu alaikum, Asif.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm very good as well. Great to have you on the show. Now, before we start the discussion, we've got a report about the National T20 Cup. Let's go take a look, and then we'll come back.
Iftikhar blasted Khyber Pakhtunkhwa to the final in a thriller against Northern, while Central Punjab secured a more routine win against Sindh in the semi-finals of the National T20. Put into bat first, Northern had a cautious start in the first semi-final of the National T20, scoring 48 in the power play, with no batter really able to capitalise on their start, and Northern looked vulnerable at the 15-over mark, going at under 7 and over. But 52 runs were scored in the last 5 overs to put on enough to give their bowlers something to defend. Arshad Iqbal was the most prolific for Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, taking 3 wickets for 35, while Iftikhar Ahmad kept the run scoring down. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa started off the pursuit with Farhan playing a steady knock to lay a solid foundation with 53 off 39 balls. However, the title defenders looked like they might stutter midway through the chase, only for Iftikhar to bail them out. A blistering 45 runs from 17 deliveries from Iftikhar Ahmad saw Khyber Pakhtunkhwa storm into the final of the National T20, whereas Central Punjab stormed into the final by beating Sindh in a one-sided affair by 7 wickets in the second semi-final. Central Punjab had put Sindh into bat first, who made a decent start thanks to a flying start from Shahid Khan, who placed 32 off 19 deliveries. Khurram Manzoor at the other end scored 34 in 40 balls, while the middle order fell apart, and eventually Sindh put up a score of 141. Akram and Zafar Gohar were the pick of the bowlers, each conceding just 15 in their allotted 4 overs, picking up 3 and 2 wickets respectively. Central Punjab, chasing a moderate target of 142, made it wobbly start, losing Mohammad Akhlaq in the second over, but Ahmed Shehzad and Kamran Akmal shared an 88-run stand for the second wicket to keep the pursuit on track. It broke the back of the chase, with Hussain Talat and Qasim Akram finishing the job with more than 2 overs to spare. With this, Central Punjab will take on defending champions Khyber Pakhtunkhwa today at the Gaddafi Stadium, Lahore.
And there you have it, all you need to know about the National T20 Cup so far, with the 2 semi-finals and an exciting final that is there tonight at 7:30 p.m. You can catch all the action live on PTV Sports. Sir Rizwan, talking about the first semi-final, first of all, there is something about Khyber Pakhtunkhwa now producing so much talent. They've won the treble, the first-class tournament, Kazim Trophy, One Day Cup, T20. This year again, they're in the final once again.
Well, it just shows, I mean, once you start getting interest in the national T20s, we've never had interest from the public before that. This is the first time all the international players are playing for the Pakistan team. So it's a blessing in disguise. Of course, it's bad that New Zealand didn't make it, England didn't come, but at least with all the players playing, there was a lot of interest in the people, in the games by the people. So it's very nice to have, you know, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa having support and Punjab having support. And once you get the young players to play with international stars like Qasim Akram did yesterday, it's always good to have them. And for the future, it's always good.
Definitely. Asif, we talked about the first semi-final because that was live at that time. Obviously, we did know that Khyber Pakhtunkhwa is making it, and they have the majority of the experience right now when it was a match against Northern. But Northern had their fair share of experience as well. But we've talked about them much, and I want to, you know, explore this more. That even if when they realized that Fakhar Zaman, Mohammad Rizwan, and Shaheen Shah Afridi are leaving, they still had enough bench strength to put up a team which absolutely looked professional, that looked composed, and that looked like that they would be chasing down a target with relative ease. I understand they got through a couple of problems in the middle order.
Well, that's right, but you know, if you see their track record, that they're the defending champions as well, and the way they played in Qaid-e-Azam Trophy last year, and in last couple of years, I was observing before this system of the new structure of the domestic cricket when there was Peshawar region, Rizwan, Sahibzada Farhan, Israrullah, Rifatullah Mehmet, Imran Khan Senior, you name anyone, Zuhaib left arm spinner. So they had a very good team before this structure as well. And now, you know, gathering all this strength in one team, which is called KP, now they are unbeatable in this scenario, I'm telling you. And as I talked last night, that what happened, that Rizwan is not there, and Shaheen Shah Afridi is not there, Fakhar Zaman is not there. Still, they got the capability to chase. And it was an easy total, but you know, the Iftikhar came up. And the way that he showed the leading capacity and capability, he finished in a special way. And I was expecting here, and we guys were talking about that the Salman Irshad is a very good prospect now, and he's getting lethal day by day. And the way he uses his arm, side arm bowling action, using his slow deliveries, variations, yorkers, but Iftikhar was unbeatable last night. So yes. And last night I was predicted about the second semi-final as well. Tonight I'm quite sure that they will carry on the same form and the same confidence. So I think that the KP is favorite for me. KP
is favorite, but we've got to realize that Central Punjab have got a lot of experience when it comes to their side. They've got Kamran Akmal, Ahmad Shahzad, Wahab Riaz is also there, and also you cannot ignore the fact that Qasim Akram is coming up as a very good find for Central Punjab. He's already represented Pakistan under 19 and has been there, so he understands. A very good batsman. I think his bowling has been explored, but his batting is also there up for the taking as well. The quality was there, as you mentioned, Rizwan, and we also saw a lot of interest from the people as well. But if we talk about improving grassroots level cricket, the Prime Minister came up with a vision that he said that no to departmental cricket, but I want a stronger regional system. Do you think dividends of those can now be seen?
Of course, it's natural. I mean, end of the day, if you see Australian cricket or the English cricket, it's all about, you know, the counties and the local places. We can't have cricket from Habib Bank and players from PIA and all that. For the first time, local people are interested. I saw the games in Islamabad at the Pindi Stadium. People are looking to support. You can see from PSL, you know, you have people supporting KP, you've got people supporting Islamabad, you've got people supporting Lahore, Karachi and Quetta. And that's the way it should be. Until and unless you have local support for the people, there's not going to be much interest.
Well, you yourself have played cricket back in the UK as well, league cricket. When we talk about that, we know that personally, that the level of competition even at that level is immense. we've not been able to replicate that same system here, because if we talk about the lower grassroots levels of club cricket, and something is definitely missing.
Yeah, actually the thing is, in England you have, all clubs have their own under 13s, under 15s, under 17s, and you on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, when they have nets, they have players, training the youngsters under 13s, running between the wickets. I learned running between the wickets when I started playing club cricket, not at school level. You have to have cricket at school level. You have to have cricket at local level before, graduating to the first class level. Here it's very difficult otherwise.
Definitely. So you think we are getting there?
We are on the right track. I mean, the only problem is for the last 20 years, if you look at it, our first class structure changes every second year.
That's true.
That's the biggest problem.
That's
Until and unless you have a stable system, you can't go through.
Asif, we need to do something about this, because I understand that things are changing on the national T20 level or One Day Cup or Qaeda-Azam Trophy, but let's not ignore the fact that we still have a very, very disappointing setup of club cricket.
Well, let me slightly disagree with Rizwan that we are not on the right track right now. If you talk about, I've played school cricket, I've played college cricket, university, and the club cricket as well. And if Rizwan could share with us that what he has observed from last 3 years, what's going on in Pakistan, that we don't have any school cricket, to be very honest. That the first thing. The second thing, that if you compare your system with India, that India have very strong cricketing structure. They brought Rahul Dravid for the under-19. They brought Saurav Ganguly. They call him Dada for the cricket, and they brought cricket minds. And now, after Ramiz Raja, the appointment of the Ramiz Raja was much appreciable, and I was pretty much happy that because he remained professional cricketer, he remained skipper. He's serving Pakistan from last 20 years in cricket commentary. He's a big name. Might be now he will bring some changes as well in school cricket. The school cricket is your backbone, actually, and we don't have school cricket from last 3 years. If I'm not wrong, if I'm wrong, could you please correct me?
No, I agree with you. What I said about was the club cricket improving, and basically having national T20 at this level is a step
on the
in
higher
right
level.
direction.
And frankly speaking, I know that in this part of the world we like to compare ourselves with our neighbours in terms of cricket especially, but we've got to realize that the monetary aspects that are involved are huge. You can probably, if you want to get to that level, the monetary aspects you need to, because let's be fair, BCCI is probably one of the richest cricket boards in the world, and it's got a trickle-down effect where all that share of the money comes down to different levels of cricket and even different sports as well. So, we're at a position where we're hardly finding it, just to support our first-class cricketers and increase their wages, what Ramiz has done as chairman PCB. So, I probably think that the idea of getting regions to get their own sponsors would probably pay dividends in the future as well. That's what we hope for. Coming in now, sticking to the National T20 Cup and the final that is underway, we're talking about Central Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Rizwan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa has dominated, we understand that, but we can't ignore the side that Central Punjab have that includes the experience of Kamran Akmal, Ahmad Shahzad and Wahab Riaz. How are you finding this final tonight?
I think it's going to be interesting, but because of the dew, toss would make a big difference. Batting first and chasing is always easy when the dew factor is there. Otherwise, it's going to be interesting.
Definitely.
Anybody's game.
Well, just a point to ponder. I've just been told that it's not underway. I did not say it's underway. I said it's going to be underway tonight. That's what I said. So that's a point back to the comm box that we have back there as well. So, let's be more aware at this moment. Asif, Central Punjab, you've called it Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. The fact is that if you look at the average scores this time in T20, we've had good competitions. Even 156 looked like it was going to be defended last night.
Everyone would like to see a nail-biter contest as a final. Why I'm saying that KP is favorite for me, that because I like them, first of all. The second thing is that if you talk about their bench strength, that Sahibzada Farhan and then Kamran Ghulam, they're very
good form.
Yes. Yeah. Musaddiq is also anchoring really nicely. Then if Takhar's form is getting back the way he played last night, it's an alarming thing for the, of course, for the Punjab. So and on the other side, I'm not saying that they have very good spin attack. Zafar Goho, the way he bowled last night, it was fantastic to watch. And then the of course, Qasim Akram. So if you talk about their 8 overs, as Rizwan mentioned, the toss would be definitely really important. But for me, if I'm the captain of any side, I should have plan A, plan B, plan C, the less chances of mistake. Would have to come up with your several plans It's all about.
But we're an improvising nation. We also improvise last moment. That's what we do.
No, it's all about the way you were talking before the program. That's what happened with. If you say I could.
Let's not take names now.
I'm not taking name. If a player coming and saying that I'm a good spinner, but he can't bowl from this way.
Shorter end, yeah.
Yeah, shorter end, and I'm using the other end. It's not professionalism. So cricket is all about professionalism. You lost the toss, don't worry. Come up with the full strength, come up with the confidence, and put down the opposition.
Well, just to start for all of you, because Asif mentioned a very particular point about Iftikhar. Iftikhar has the best strike rate right now when it comes to the national T20. He's about 160 above. So visibly his game is improved. Another dilemma, what we see here, Rizwan, is a confusion whether we should go for the future or we should stick to experience. Now, the fact is that many of our players in this part of the world start maturing after their late 20s, after 30, but then they're not in consideration anymore.
Well, I think we should always look at the future, and we've had enough of. I know the team has been selected, and we have to support it. I'm all for Pakistan winning the World Cup, but Shoaib Malik and Hafiz have never been superstars. They've always been utility players. They can bowl a bit, bat a bit more, but they've never won you games like consistently like Syed used to do, or Yusuf, or Inzamam for that matter. I'm talking about batting right now. But I mean, since you've selected them, you have to go with them. Hopefully, the team depends on in the World Cup. You're looking at Rizwan and you're looking at Babar, and if you lose them for 10 or 15 runs in the first 3 overs, I think the match's gone.
Yeah.
That's tough. You have to have players who can take you till the 20 overs. If you're 30 for 3, you still need to look at 170, 180. But that's not happening right now.
That's very true. That we need to find a player who can probably anchor the innings, even if Babar and Rizwan are not there, and not just to make superstars, but somebody you can depend on. That's the case, and I think Rizwan mentioned a very particular point. Also joining us on Sports Extra now, we've got senior sports journalist Syed Haider. Haider bhai, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Sports Extra. Oh, I'm having trouble hearing Haider. I'm sure he can hear me. Well, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Right, National T20, we're in the final now. We've got a final that will take place tonight between Central Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. There's been a lot of excitement this season for the National T20 Cup, particularly of the reason because 2 international sides decided not to tour Pakistan, so the hype was given there as well. So how do you feel that the tournament has went on, and particularly about Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Central Punjab in the final?
Yeah, that's a very good opportunity for the players who are not in the national team, and they are struggling to come into the national team like Iftikhar and others. Iftikhar played very well in semi-final. So it's a very good opportunity for them to come forward and make the runs and show to selectors that they are also able to do in the national team. And secondly, I think national T20 has been managed at very right time before the T20 World Cup, because by which you have got some players, they are able to play in the T20 squad, and some players, they have been dropped due to bad performance. So it was a great move from the PCB that after the cancellation of New Zealand tour to get national T20, and many players, they have played very well, like Sharjit Khan. He is out from the national squad, but he has played very well. And other players like Kamran Ghulam from KPK, he has got 100 century in the T20. Actually, he's a player of the long duration cricket, but he has managed very well in T20 also. So I think it's a very good move from the PCB to manage for the players, bowlers, batsmen to show their ability for the national team.
Well, management is something that we really need to talk about, because we've seen that we've also had games where teams were playing an evening game and then the very next day they had an afternoon game. But obviously scheduling is a concern, because like I said, that 2 international teams decided not to tour Pakistan, so we were trying to make up time, and then of course the second leg was in Lahore. Asif, that being said, we've highlighted a couple of players, especially for KPK, when we talk about Sahibzada Farhan or Iftikhar Ahmad, Kamran Ghulam, who are probably going to be the key for them tonight to bat. Talking about Central Punjab, Ahmad Shehzad has found some good form. Not consistently, but it's been a new Ahmad Shehzad this tournament. Kamran Akmal has probably been there forever, so we've seen him in form, and Wahab Riaz also adding a bit too as well. How are you seeing the combination of Central Punjab?
It's very good, of course, that though they're missing Babar Azam, but the good thing is that last night Kamran, he played really nicely, and it's really important if you're a senior player, you should feel the pressure, and you should take the pressure and take the responsibility and play till the end of the game. So it was missing from Kamran Akmal. And as you said that it's a new Ahmad Shehzad. For me, no, he is not new. Actually, I'm expecting more than this from Ahmad Shehzad, because for a long time he's playing international cricket, national cricket. He remained in all structures, he remained in all teams, and now this is the time that if he wants to show something special, something extraordinary. Now this is the day, as Haider have said that it's a big game. If you want to become prominent for the selectors, now this is the time. Show your extraordinary skills and now stand on the victory vision. And now it's not the thing that we are missing, but it's the thing that Pakistan is missing, that we don't have very good finisher. Babar Azam is a classy batsman, Rizwan is there, but you might agree with me that we don't have finishers.
Well, that's been a big problem for us, I think, for a long time now. But we've been identifying these players. We've had some quality performances this season of the National T20 Cup. We'll talk particularly about some of them who have been included into the T20 World Cup squad. Haider Ali, what are your thoughts about him?
Amazing. I mean, he's a talent. He needs time, but since we haven't got anyone else to, to finish the game, then he's one of the choices along with Fakhr. I think he's a natural talent. He should be in the long run. We should look at him for not just T20 but one internationals as well. He's a good talent.
Well, do you also believe, we had this debate last night, and I think you can also have an expert analysis on this, that somewhat we've seen that players have not been managed well by the management. Even in the case of Haider Ali, maybe his natural ability has been there for him, but when he's come into the international stage, they've probably tried something different with him.
The problem, not just with Haider Ali, I mean, you've groomed Fakhr as an opener. All his life in one internationals, test matches, he's been playing as an opener. And suddenly, once you get Babar and Rizwan combo going, you bring Fakhr down to number 5. He's not used to playing the spinners in the end overs. So once somebody's not performing or not used to that player, not that place, then he should not be there. I mean, Fakhr is a talent, yes. I mean, he could, if Babar's opening, he could come in at 3. Why not?
But not lower than that,
yeah,
obviously.
But so similarly, Haider was initially in the PSL, he was given a run at number 3, I think. And now, in the international games, you're putting him at number 5 or 6. So that's a different ball game.
That's definitely hard on the guy as well. I'll come to Haider right now. Haider, your thoughts on the fact that Haider Ali has been a phenomenal talent. We've seen him opening, batting at number 3 for Peshawar Zalmi as well. International stage, as Rizwan mentioned as well, that it was a bit harsh on him as well, putting him down to number 5 and 6 and asking him to do something away from his ability.
Yes, Haider Ali is a national talented batsman, and he has an ability to do big inning. I think he has to be at number 3 or number 4. He's the batsman who can establish the inning, and then he can finish also. So, but if at the number 5 or 6 you will send him, then he cannot do anything. He is not like a batsman like you think Syed, Afridi or others. They can get only 2 balls, 2 sixes. He's not like a batsman. He needs some time, but he is a good, talented and very nice batsman. He has some good extraordinary shots. He can do everything if you give a chance, but proper chances, because he has not been given proper chances. Therefore, he has not able to establish his place in the national team. But now he's a good opportunity in T20 World Cup. I think he should be inducted in the playing squad. He is a good batsman, and he will be an asset on the UAE pitches.
Can be an asset on the UAE pitches as well. Gentlemen, very finally, I'll take your thoughts. Who are you calling tonight? It's going to be Central Punjab.
Of course, I've told before that I'll go with KP.
You're going with KP this
Yes,
time.
yes.
It's good that you're supporting Central Punjab for the semi-finals, but now
now the teams are changed now.
Teams are changed. It's going to be a good competition.
Yes.
Well, the two guests have called it Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Central Punjab. I'm going to stick with Central Punjab, although I think I'm a big fan of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, but I have a feeling that Lahore is going to be kind to Central Punjab. You never know. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being on the show. It was a pleasure having all of you.
Pleasure.
On that note, we'll go towards a short break. When we come back, we'll be discussing football. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Sports Extra. Time now for our football segment. We're going to be discussing the World Cup qualifiers, in particular about Portugal and the brilliance that is Cristiano Ronaldo. In studios joining me is football youth coach and expert Sabeel Hazir. Assalamu alaikum, Sabeel. How are you?
Walaikum Assalam. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm very well. I like the fact that Ronaldo's scoring. What do you have to say about that?
Well, Ronaldo scoring, as we both know, is no surprise. It's business as usual, and another record being broken is also business as per usual. This is his 10th international hat-trick. He already has the most senior men's goals. Now he also has the most hat-tricks in men's international football. So when it comes to goals, there is just internationally, I guess, no comparison for Cristiano Ronaldo.
Definitely. We've got a report. Let's go take a look and then come back and continue the discussion with Sabeel.
Cristiano Ronaldo became the first men's player to score 10 international hat-tricks when Portugal thrashed Luxembourg. The five-time Ballon d'Or winner was in splendid form during his country's latest 2022 World Cup qualifying clash. Ronaldo scored 2 penalties before netting a late header to help his country record a 5-0 victory. Ronaldo has now scored 58 career hat-tricks, including 10 for Portugal, which is more than any other player has managed for their country. Ronaldo has featured in 182 games in a Portuguese shirt, which makes him the most capped European men's player in history. The Portuguese star continues to reach new heights with no sign of slowing down just yet.
There you have it, that report courtesy Asad, giving us the details of this game and Ronaldo in particular as well, and of course the World Cup qualifiers. Sabeel, I have this particular thing that I want to inquire about, and you, because you've got the more insight on football and I'm learning from you as well on that. So I just want to know that I feel this, and I might be wrong. Do you also feel that once Ronaldo moved from Real Madrid to Juventus, it probably didn't feel like the Ronaldo we were used to seeing? Even in the later half to Juventus, he looked a bit down and, you know, that energy wasn't coming. But as soon as he's moved back to Manchester United, I'm seeing a new avatar of him probably.
Well, yeah, in some senses, I do agree with that. That's actually a very good way to put it, actually, when you think about the fact that, yes, he's Ronaldo. Everywhere he goes, he's going to score goals. So it's not about the fact that he's going to score or not. We know he's going to score. We know he's going to score 20-plus goals this season. That's not what we're after. It's about those big match-winning goals and such. At Real Madrid, he had a world-class team built around him to score goals. For example, Benzema, who we're now seeing scoring at an unbelievable rate, was scoring a lot, but his role was a bit different in Real Madrid to support Cristiano, let him be the main focal point of attack. Before that in United, obviously, he had the front three of Tevez, Ronaldo, Rooney, which was dominating. But when he went to Juventus, players, it's kind of like Messi in PSG right now, where players just kind of look to him to just win you the game. And you saw a lot more high volume of crosses coming in into areas where sometimes he was the only guy in the box. So you had a very isolated Ronaldo there. So obviously now that he's gone back to United, he's become, we're not seeing perhaps what he was at Real Madrid, but we're seeing a Ronaldo who seems to be enjoying his football again, who seems to have a team around him that's willing to play for him. Obviously having Bruno Fernandes there helps a great deal. And I think at Juventus, there was just too much, not pressure, he can deal with pressure, too much in terms of match-winning strategy being left on him. He should just be the guy to get you the goals. You need to make sure the team is doing their jobs. He was doing his, they weren't doing theirs, their jobs. Now in Portugal though, he's always been the main man, always gets goal, has never missed a step. And I think at Juventus, it seemed like when he used to go to Portugal, it was like a break from the club football, whereas now it seems to be, and he's enjoying his football at both places.
I know you're a guy who fancies fitness a lot, and I know that personally now. So at this age, keeping himself so fit is also something extraordinary.
Unbelievable. Genuinely, I don't. Obviously, you're seeing more of it now with sports science, that more and more players are elongating their careers, not just in this sports, in so many different sports. But with him, you know, Rio Ferdinand says this about Ronaldo, that there was a time where, look, he was the only one doing it. He used to go over to his house, Ferdinand said, and there'd be his physio, his doctor, his chef, his God knows what else, his masseur, all of these people, right? So he had an entire team built around just keeping him fit. Forget the football aspect, that he used to go to the club and do, and he had nutritionists and stuff linked with the club as well. But then he had his own private team. You see, in cricket, I think Virat Kohli does that now as well, absolutely, where he's got teams of people, a team of people just working for him, right? So it's really incredible. And the age he's at, he looks like he looks like a Calvin Klein model in his 20s, even in his 30s, and he's performing like what he is, an elite athlete at the highest level.
Well, Portugal, ever since they won that Euro, have been a quality side. We know that, but somewhere on the international level, they wanted probably more and couldn't be that team that we wanted to see. How do you see them going into the World Cup now, as far as the qualifiers is concerned, but obviously them as an international unit now?
So when they actually won the Euros, I think they're a better team now than when they won the Euros. They've got a Bernardo Silva who just seems unplayable at times. You even saw him against Luxembourg.
Yeah.
Ronaldo, great job for the hat-trick, but Silva was making them play. He was running the game, having obviously Fernandes and Moutinho for support, but it was Silva who was that main threat. And the team now is better than it was when it won the Euros. And when it won the Nations League, it's kind of similar to that team. So I think although maybe they haven't, obviously you want a player like Cristiano to win the biggest prize in football. You want him to have the World Cup. Obviously you do, but they're not realistically going to do that next year. I think they're definitely, I think, a team that's a dark horse in terms of they'll go further than maybe people expect. Maybe people expect them to go to the round 16 right after the groups. I think they might even make it to the semi-finals in the World Cup, but I don't really see them winning it. But fair play to them. They have won 2 trophies at Nations League and the Euros, and I think to win the first team to win these major honours for Portugal. So well done to them.
But we've got to realize that the talent nursery is there. They've been producing some phenomenal talent.
It's, I guess, like, you obviously have Bernardo Silva coming through, you've got Bruno Fernandes coming through, you've got great young defenders like Ruben Dias and stuff coming through. So talent has never been an issue. The Portuguese league is one of the top 6 or 7 leagues in the world. It is one of the best leagues and it has a good history as well. So they have the players, the talent, but it's whether, I guess at the right time they've got the right mix. Now, for example, you've got Moutinho, who's, I think, apart from Quaresma, set up the most goals for Cristiano. He's pretty much at the end of his career. Pepe, I don't know how he's still managing to perform at this age. But, these kind of players, so I don't think, they've been unlucky with the mix of players. Unlike Belgium, who had the right mix of players at the right time, who just maybe choked a little bit. Portugal have done a lot with a team that's had to mix and match a really old players with some really young ones, and then depending on one of the greatest players of all time, Cristiano, to deliver as well.
Well, of course, Luxembourg couldn't have it easy. 21 shots from Portugal and just 3 from them. Possession was 56-44. Passes 479, 394. Accuracy was 84, 86. So that was probably there, but 8 corners in 2 said it all. But if I look at this Group A, Serbia is still there on with 17 points. Portugal, Luxembourg, Ireland, and Azerbaijan. So it's pretty sure who's going to make it. But elsewhere, we also had a match between Denmark and Austria. How do you think about that?
I think Denmark is, obviously, after what happened with Christian Eriksen in the Euros, the whole world kind of got behind them. So I think they're a good side. They will, obviously, I think Austria as well are a good side. These are the kind of teams that have a few really good players playing at very high levels. So in Austria, you've got Alaba, you've got Arnautovic. If for Denmark, you've obviously got Kjær and Eriksen and these kinds of players playing at very high level. But yeah, these are the kind of teams that even if they make it to a major tournament, you'd expect them to put up a fight but not really go that far. So when they meet, it's always good when teams like that meet, because it feels like you can actually see their creative players
more
do
inclusive football, probably.
Yeah, probably that as well.
That's very true. But final question, and I forgot to ask this from Sabeel, because I know this was going to be one of the main things that people wanted to know, and I understand some of you did want to know about the formation that Portugal played last night. They went with like a 3-3-4, if I'm not wrong, or a 4-3-3 as you call it.
Yeah, so 4-3-3. Yeah. They had Fernandes, Moutinho, and
so Ronaldo in the centre and the 2 Silvas beside
the Silvas, exactly. That Andre and Bernardo, Andre on the left and and Bernardo on the right. The formation worked a treat. Obviously, it did. I think having Moutinho playing a bit deeper, giving the ball off to Fernandes, and then having Paulinho on the right. I think he's an incredible player. Gets forward a lot. He was a danger throughout. He was unlucky. He was stretching for a few balls, which could have been goals. Scored from that corner, obviously very deadly in the air as well. He was seeming to be in that game, and then Andre Silva, I think, was just there to provide a strong kind of target on the left, and he had good work rate. It was mainly Bernardo on the right that was the creative input. He obviously won the penalty. He was getting in behind the lines a lot, using him in the half space, because he can kind of get in behind, but he can also drop short, get between players, and that creates a lot of problems because he pulls players out of position and he makes them he attracts players and then either beats them, draws a foul, or he brings them out of position, plays a ball through to who else but Cristiano Ronaldo.
Definitely, that is. But on a final note, and before we move on to the news in brief, we've never asked you, where does your international allegiance lie?
My international allegiance lies with, I love Portugal, but obviously I live in Scotland. I love to see Scotland do well. So you can say Scotland and Portugal are where they
Scotland
lie.
and Portugal.
And Pakistan if we ever get to our
Pakistan is
suspension
always
lifted.
the love. That's what we see. But Sabeel, thank you so much for joining us on Sports Extra. Before we leave, we've got time for our segment. That is the news in brief. Galaxy Racer, the world's fastest growing esports company, is taking a massive leap because all of us love esports and we think that it's the next generation of sports that is going to come on. They've signed a massive, something with the Special Technology Zones Authority in the presence of the Pakistani President Dr. Arif Alvi and the patron of Galaxy Racer, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed Dalmouk Maktoum, at a special ceremony held in Dubai, UAE. And of course, all of you who do not know, Special Technology Zones Authority is a new Pakistani government initiative that encourages foreign technology companies to invest in Pakistan. Galaxy Racer is going to be the first esports company that is going to establish itself in the Special Technology Zones Authority. And like I said, all of you who love e-gaming, we're going to be trying to get a special segment on e-gaming in the later weeks as well when we get time, because I want to talk about the fact that e-gaming is the next way forward now, because we're seeing a lot more market, a lot more money involved, a lot more careers, and a lot more youth audience that is coming in. People as young as, in their 10, 12, 15 years of age are making a career out of esports. So we'll be discussing that whenever we get a segment on esports particularly. That's it from me and the entire team of Sports Extra. It's goodbye for now.